I'm aware of, a good company basically understands this much. The customer is always right because they could take their money elsewhere. But here's my problem: blowing off your customers. Rockstar, I may have paid you only up. That 8 million is now gone. But that 100 is basically right there in your pockets. I know it's somewhere in that bank. Now, here's the scenario. As far as I'm aware of, this is ridiculous. If online gaming is supposed to be the next step towards the evolution of entertainment when it comes to interactions, by far, this is the number one thing that I do not like when something goes wrong and I have a problem because that thing is wrong. And I asked you, what's the problem? What is the issue? Blowing me off of any questions that I might have by saying, if you have any questions, goodbye, is unacceptable. It is not to be tolerated. And I find it quite concerning because as a company, customer satisfaction is number one top priority. And to insult my intelligence by saying that I have a question and you don't want to listen to it with a simple goodbye is the very essence and reason why I want to be offline. I would like to play game consoles offline. So that means that if there's one of me, there's going to be many more to find. Because you're not going to keep track of everyone. It is your tactics, Rockstar, is the very essence and reason why I'm going offline, and I wouldn't be surprised there's an army following. So Rockstar, out of your own egotistical attitude towards your thoughts,
Rockstar is egotistical.
us is undeniably inaccurate in terms for business tactics. So Rockstar, fuck you! I don't need another Konami on my hands. I've already seen it once. I'm not going through it twice. Fuck yous. Do not get far with me. At least Capcom tries. Even when they had $152 million in the bank, they realized they couldn't afford another fuck up. Rockstar, I don't care how much money you have. No. The answer is no.
Hey, I'm gonna send you a screenshot the Jeremy sent me of Rockstar Online.
Can't wait, man.
Look at this.
I really can't.
Screenshot.
Hey guy, can I get that heart attack? Please? I think I've reached the stress levels. Yeah, I know. Alright, let me take a look. I really fucking hate online gaming.
What state are you in, man?
I live where all the pussies live.
Where's that? I live in Tennessee, where all the
Well,
rednecks live.
what's another word for pussy?
Gays? I don't
No,
know.
no, no. What is another word for pussy? An alternative word, a
Vagina?
synonym. Yep. Okay, so vagina, what state closely resembles that
Virginia.
word? Yep, there you go. I like that. Ironically enough, I'm not too far from a shiny red button now that I think about it. You know, the one that's basically about 3 hours away from my home. That will be a very interesting concept. Future preference, I would suppose.
Okay, good night, gentlemen. Okay. I'm still on GTA Online.
I wouldn't be surprised. But Rockstar has already got underneath my skin. They probably see me as nothing less than that of a liability due to the primary circumstances that I've only put only $100 into their account, leaving me with only $8 million that I've already blown through. So they probably don't really give a shit. And I've only did that only once since 2013 for Christmas money. Other than that, basically, I'm just useless to them as a customer. They probably think of me as a parasite or a leech. Pity me. As far as I'm aware of, I don't really give a shit about their tactics neither, because you know why? Maybe doing online wasn't a good idea. Try to warn them all. Don't shrink the world. And they did.
They're just trying to copy the footsteps of the Call of Duty.
I wouldn't even give a shit. Because if you don't try to become someone that you're not. Because guess what? Are you Activision Rockstar? No, what are you? You are Rockstar. And you make Grand Theft Auto, not Grand Owned Auto. Give a rat's ass about online. Call of Duty is already a fucking division itself, being divided amongst one another as a community, if anything. I spend more fucking time being aggravated than actually seeing results. Oh yeah, that's right. Those are the results then, aren't they?
Windows and PC are up.
Yeah, everything's up but PlayStation 4, leaving me to actually be taken out of the equation.
And me too. I don't even own a PlayStation 3 anymore.
Thing is, I actually own one still. The only reason I'm on PlayStation 4, one reason only. My controllers are broke. I don't have any backups. So, broken controller for PlayStation 3 means what? You cannot use it. So make do with what you do have. So that's why I'm here. Until I actually get a new controller, which is, let's see, about $70 worth of groceries. I spend about 40 of that each week.
You know what I don't get? PlayStation 3 is up. So why isn't PlayStation 4?
You know why? What is the best place to hide? In plain sight. That's where it's found. Because who would want to actually attack PlayStation 3? Nobody's on there.
Xbox 360 and One are up.
It's Microsoft. The government actually uses Microsoft computers to have everything up and running. So if you were to hack Microsoft, you're hacking the government, which is a one-way trip to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, located within their prison systems. So unless, of course, you actually want to be someone else's senorita, I highly advise you never hack Microsoft, because guess what? You become a threat to all of, well, innocent life, because you're attacking those who apparently they pay taxes to. So I wouldn't be surprised that there might be something going on in cahoots there with Microsoft. With Sony actually being originated from Japan, they probably give a rat's ass, even though they have $17 trillion in 2013. That's actually pay off our debts. Oh, and by the way, $17 trillion is actually in their assets. So, we'll be giving the money over to Japan, but then if we were to do that, we could nuke them, but then again, we'll be putting innocent lives at risk here. So all the Japanese will be killed instantaneously, but we could probably give them maybe an evacuation. But then again, we'll also be allowing the people that we owe money to get away as well. So basically, kill a couple. Break a few eggs, make an omelet. But then again, we won't be a really good country if we did that. But then again, shit, I'm living in a world of toxicity here.
Jeremy Jew just said he's gonna hack them, and he sent me a screenshot.
Jeremy Jew, huh?
Yeah, that's his name. and see.
Alright.
Both of them.
One of these days, man. One of these days, there's gonna be hell on earth, dude. I can see riot shields just going off and basically riots themselves. There's gonna be a big bloodbath, dude. Don't make promises you can't keep. People will get, well, curious. That's why curiosity killed the cat. But if there's no satisfaction, does that cat come back? Probably not. Can't stand it any longer. It's the smell, if there is such a thing.
He says he got access.
Yep. I'm pretty sure if I was in Rockstar's shoes, I'll say, I must get out of here. I must get free. And this mind is the key. But Rockstar doesn't know that. So I guess I'm basically be stuck doing Agent Smith, interpretations until they grow a fucking brain.
No one is working on it right now. It's a Sunday.
Well, you know what that means. Does anyone have a 200-pound set of C4 that I can borrow real quick? I promise I'll return it right back. Terrorist jokes are not that good, kids.
It won't even take 5 pounds of C4 to blow off the hinges of a vault.
Really? Well, it takes 5 pounds just to blow up the hinges? And about 200 pounds might actually do the job.
I'm talking about like a bank vault.
Yeah, I know. That's why we have hackers.
Sony has had a lot of problems with hackers.
Yep, I wouldn't be surprised. PS3 is overrun with God mode and aimbot and the numbers keep counting on. Yeah, the ones who use God mode that don't choose their class right away but end up making that one mistake and they end up getting Jug instead. The only thing that can kill a Jug is basically headshots, tomahawks, or my personal favorite, which I can't differentiate between someone using Jug and a regular player that I actually killed 30,000 times over, knives. So either way, you're basically going to get the same treatment. So when it comes to hackers, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that Sony's actually getting hit pretty hard with them, but who the fuck gives a shit? It's PS3. So as far as I'm aware of, Sony, when you decide to actually join the console business against Nintendo and you ended up having an idea that leached off from Microsoft, bad move, man. And Microsoft, fuck you for introducing the idea to online gaming, because now we're more divided as gamers than ever. So guess what? At first it was a good idea, but this is ridiculous.
But how do we even make it be more divided?
How do you make someone more divided? How do you think a marriage couple ends? You're too close to one another. If I'm up in your ass every single fucking day, why exactly are you here? Why are you exactly there? Well, what's going on here? I don't see what's going on. Okay, you start making arguments and it becomes pathetic. And then you end up getting divorced. That's the only chance you have any sense of, peace and restoration. By allowing connectivity for every gamer worldwide, you have a higher chance of dividing everyone, because you ever heard the term one cannot coexist without the other? By allowing connectivity, there must be a counterbalance in order to actually create self-sustainment. So if everyone's connected towards one another, what do you think is going to end up happening? They're going to get tired of everyone. Nobody fucking knows Adam from Eve's, children. So we're all fucking more divided than ever. So yeah, Call of Duty community alone is divided beyond repair. Because I can rest assure you, before even online was even considered a popular thing, I can rest assured you that I can spend basically 3 to 5 hours having a conversation with a person who actually has the same interests as me, gaming. But now, that don't mean shit. So of course, this is a really bad idea to offer gaming online. I don't mind hanging out with my friends, but if my friends fight with one another over the smallest bullshit, I can't get anything done, and you're pissing me off. Because guess what? Imagine doing heists and you got friend A and friend B fighting amongst one another. Do you think you can actually deal with that shit? No! It's just no different than basically fighting with someone who's just an asshole cussing you in a different language, or basically some ghetto motherfucker calling you in the N-word every fucking day. So either way you break it down, the person who I'm actually supposed to have the same interest with in gaming just so happens to be a fucking asshole. I can't enjoy that. It's like bad blood. So as far as I'm aware of, this is ridiculous.
So that's Microsoft's fault. Because they introduced online games. Did the Dreamcast come out before or after?
They had leaderboards, and it was ahead of its own time for online gaming. But online gaming wasn't. I don't think it was possible until 2005 for the PlayStation 2. Microsoft Xbox probably had an Xbox Live, but that was probably roughly around the same time era. As far as I'm aware of, I don't like online gaming at all. Because think about it, at first it was a good idea. It's just basically like a businessman basically selling something very good, and it ends up becoming shit afterwards. It's like you sold your soul to the devil. It's like, I thought it was supposed to bring me happiness. I'm not happy, So look at what we've gone through. Well, let's see. When we saw Skyrim and GTA 4 during the time frame they were out, you're like, okay, when you pay $60, what do you get? You get a full game. 100%, it's complete, it's finished, and you have DLC. So what this is, in our minds, when we get DLC, it's like we get 100%, the DLC is like an extra 20 or 40% more worth of your time that you are having with content being given to you. Underneath your nose, that over a course of time, when you get used to this idea, you're actually getting 40% of a game, and the other 60% fills out the 100% with DLC. Get my point? So if I were to basically, let's say if I had $20, I went over Domino's, right? And I order a medium pizza, I got a side order of wings, and some garlic cheese sticks, and a soda. And my $20 covered the whole thing. Then all of a sudden I go the next day and I get a large pizza, but where's my sides? Oh, they cost extra. You know what I mean? It's just to basically get more money out of you. The $20 does not cover it. Because games that are in the PlayStation 2 era, it's like a medium pizza. They're not as big as, they're not as big as they are now, but that's why it's a medium pizza. They're not as big. as they are now. But at the same time, you got with your $20 everything included in that one meal. But when you actually get a bigger pizza, which is like bigger in popularity of gaming, where everything's bigger, it's better, it's all that fun stuff, you're missing shit. And that shit adds up. And oversaturation means I'm more and more hungry. I want more and more, but there's not enough to feed. There's not enough to come out with ideas to make a gamer feel satisfied. So what you're really doing is that you're feeding on food that makes you more hungry. It's not doing the job it's supposed to do, fill you up. You're not filled up with satisfaction when it comes to gaming. So you're left with, well, this. Well, number one, looking at DLCs in that aspect, yes. Microtransactions is like tax that you're paying to the company to have your servers up and running, because servers are just a bridgeway. The internet, any way you want to call it, servers use the internet as a bridgeway for company to gamer to tax you, to give you content, all that fun stuff. But microtransaction is another word for being taxed. But you're not paying the government, you're paying the company. Either way, it's money coming out of your pocket in the aspect of how tax is used. If you're on our soil, you have your house living here, and you pay for your food, you pay for your shit, you gotta pay tax. Well, if you're gonna be online, you gotta pay your tax. And that's not the tax of the government, because you can't tax the government, but you can tax the company. So you're gonna be taxed. That's all it is. Tax to the company. Microtransactions. So that way they can keep their servers up and running. However, people like Lizard Squad and Phantom Squad being around, what good is your security if you're not supposed to be aware of what is to come to unexpected causes? Then why am I paying you? Why am I paying you? Should my money be going towards that? No. So as a company, you failed. My satisfaction, you failed.
Selfish.
Why do you think greed is one of the 7 deadly sins? Du-du-du.
Isn't pride one of them too?
How was Devil May Cry 4?
What's that?
How was Devil May Cry 4?
The original one came out in '08. Not too bad. I'm playing one of the characters for the special edition, Virgil, which is Dante's twin brother. He was added towards this game that came out in 2015, which 8 years later, I would say, maybe. And not 8, excuse me, 7. And as far as I'm aware of, it's not too bad. But if you're looking for a complete game, it still feels like a half-assed job, because there's no complete full characters. There's it just seemed like it was a very rushed job.
Kind of like, you know, this new, kind of just like a tiny, kind of like just new clothes on the person.
Actually have their own movesets. What it is this Virgil, this character right here, they took the skill set that they had for Virgil from Devil May Cry 3, mixed blended with it from Virgil from the DMC reboot series, and they just put the two sets of moves together when it comes to combat. And they just put it in Devil May Cry 4, and that's what they did with him. It just felt like a rushed mess. He didn't take as big as a step as Dante did from Devil May Cry 3 to 4. So it was he's just a rushed character. Lady and Trish are mixed movesets between Nero and Dante. And if you understand the movesets of Nero and Dante, then you understand that's what they are. All 5 of these characters are playable. However, the scenario goes here is that the game, when it was first released in 2008, Capcom came forward, and after a lot of gamers were complaining that it was a lot of backtracking. In fact, the whole game is based off on backtracking. Capcom was willing to reveal that The game was less than 40% complete.
Oh.
Well, here's how. Devil May Cry was a series exclusively for Sony, because looking at Capcom with Resident Evil, Devil May Cry was a branch off to be Resident Evil 4. Notice how basically in Resident Evil there was two characters that you could play as, which was Chris Redfield and Leon Scott Kennedy. The two characters were in Resident Evil 1 and 2. When they came out with Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, it was such a hit they wanted to make Resident Evil 4. What they're trying to do is that in Resident Evil, they want to introduce a new character named Tony, and he was supposed to be infected with a virus, and they wanted him to be the star of the game, where instead of actually being infected and wanting to kill humans, he wanted to use his abilities against Umbrella. From this idea, this actually branched off into a whole new series of its own, which was, well, Devil May Cry. The first character was actually changed from Tony to Dante. If you looked into the anime series, I believe in, I think, episode 7, I could be wrong, a guy claims that a demon burned down his village, and he calls Dante Anthony. Everyone in that whole town calls Dante Anthony. If you actually, there's a whole village that was, struck down by a demon about 20 years prior, when Dante was sitting in his shop with Patty Lowell. A guy came forward saying, kept referring Dante as the name Anthony. This is actually an Easter egg. The shorter name for Anthony is Tony. That's a reference to a character that Dante would have been for Resident Evil 4. I found that to be quite interesting. As far as I'm aware of, since the series of Devil May Cry was out since 2001, it's 2016 now. Obviously, Capcom was doing the reboot because they weren't feeling very enthusiastic about the series, yet the fans loved the original series so much that they voted with their wallets. However, even though Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition outsold the reboot Definitive Edition, Capcom is still pretty bummed about that, so they're going to have to come out with Devil May Cry 5. With when it comes right down to the reboot, I can see where they're trying to go. They're trying to do something new, and I was able to help save their asses by giving them this idea, but I don't think they're going to admire my opinion. Now, here's my opinion if they wanted to do a reboot of a series. Instead of actually using the same names in correlation to the original series, call it a different IP. So give it a different name title. Change the character's name from Dante to Tony to actually pick up what they want to do with Resident Evil, but with what they're doing with the reboot. And say some emo teenager just had a really bad dream of playing too much Devil May Cry, and he has an untold story of his own. And from there, Capcom can literally take all their ideas they wanted for the reboot onto this new one, just to see if they can get fans interested. After all, they shouldn't have fucked with perfection. They should have actually became more innovative with something else.
What is perfection?
What is perfection? What do you mean? The original series was perfectly well done. There was nothing wrong with it. It was just a really...
It was a game series?
Yeah, the original game series was perfect. There was nothing wrong with it. Just that Capcom got tired of working on their titles, so they wanted to try something new. But if they want to try something new, they should have came out with a new IP with different characters, well, and different names. Because after the whole incident with the Dante having black hair and getting the white hair to show up as a wig on the first level, not in a million years. That was a big fuck you to the fan base. Now, if you had a different name for the series and a different character, with a different name of the character, I think that would probably be a better idea. Because, hey, this is not supposed to be Devil May Cry. This is supposed to be a different game. Fuck you to your fans, it's not a good idea. And I'm getting this shit from Rockstar.
Nice.
I swear. Can Hammond hear me?
I think he's leaving.
I mean, I know, but I know he left. But could he hear me?
Yeah?
I wouldn't be surprised. I guess I'm pretty much understanding why Rockstar is so ignorant of their own fans. Yes, some people just get a little too uptight. But then again, who cares what I have to say? I guess I just really love gaming. So, we're just going to neglect everything that's going on here. So, wonder where's that ball about to go. It sucks being right.
I think there's still a lot of people online.
Yeah. Rockstar game servers are currently unavailable. Please try again later. Yeah, I can guarantee you $20. That's literally going to be the case. Now I don't give a shit about their fucking players actually participating in their online server, so why should I even give a shit about them?
Once they get your money, they really don't care.
Yeah, because guess what? I'm not that guy from the Geico commercial. I'm not made of money because when I tip my head over, change doesn't come out. It's sense. Common sense. Which is not valuable in their own opinion because they don't care about brains. They just care about their wallets. So as far as I'm aware of, you can milk everyone as much as you want, but guess what? The only reason why I pay for my PlayStation Plus membership is only for one purpose only. When PSN was making their shit free for PlayStation 3, that was out of my respect. My latitude is very fucking limited. At this point, Sony should be sucking my dick. Because I'm pretty much certain with 150 downloads I have on my list here, and I'm getting low-income housing. That means I'm getting government-paid money. So as far as I'm aware of, with such limited amount of a budget, 150 downloads worth of money that I put in their pockets, Rockstar, you suck Sony's dick, and Sony sucks mine. You're my bitch. That goes with every single customer that you're supposed to serve to make sure their satisfaction is met. But when you oversaturate a whole business, you end up failing as a whole. And if there's one thing I know how to do, is get underneath people's skins. Because I've already had enough getting underneath mine. You kind of pick up on it after a while. It's irritating. Fuck you, Rockstar. I'd rather watch commercial advertisements. Those things are annoying as fuck.
Come back online to see if it works.
Player, if you're online right now, don't do it. If you don't want to lose what you have.
No, I'm about to go to bed if it doesn't work. I'm kind of tired.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, GTA Online is loading.
This ought to be interesting. Alright. Well, I'll give it a shot.